Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Recently we were gifted a huge chunk of gameplay footage for upcoming survival zombie game Dead Matter. And today I'm going to be trying something a bit different and taking a look at said gameplay, highlighting key features and some things you may not have spotted watching it the first time around. I noticed some smaller details in the footage, and I really do think there are some great indicators of how far along we are in the development process by the footage that's been showcased. I'd strongly recommend watching development vlog 10 before going any further with this video, so I'll leave a link for this in the description. Without further ado, let's jump into it. First and foremost, let's talk about the setting itself. We're given a look at a gas station, a police station, and an abandoned mine within the gameplay footage, each with something worth mentioning. For me, the biggest thing that stood out about all three locations was verticality, with the standout example being the abandoned mine. Accessing subterranean environments means a much more detailed and immersive experience when we compare to a game such as DayZ, which had limited if any verticality in the maps, therefore being able to access some rooftops. Whether it was the police station's armory, the rooftop of the gas station, or the dark tunnels of the abandoned mine, these areas really emphasize how much the team are focusing on an immersive and interesting experience when it comes to exploration. I really can't wait to see what they have in store for us in the future. This leads me nicely into my next point of focus, which is the puzzle solving element of the game when it comes to accessing certain areas. I've talked about this briefly in my interviews with both Shirk and Nick in the past, but to have this added layer when it comes to acquiring the best loot is fantastic. The reason I say this is that we're provided a task, a goal, something to achieve in order to obtain a meaningful reward. With the police station, that was the keycard used to swipe through a locked door, providing access to the armory. Find that keycard and you've got yourself access to a sizable amount of weapons and armor as your reward. This adds playtime and will potentially mean that we spend longer in each area too, increasing the likelihood of PvP the longer you stick around. A quick little tidbit that you guys may not have noticed in the police station, the do not cross line that was put over the entrance actually falls when a player walks through it. Just a neat little addition I didn't notice until I watched back the second time. Atmosphere is an incredibly important thing when it comes to zombie survival games, especially one like Dead Matter, which is putting a heavy focus on an immersive world filled with interesting exploration, factions, and tasks to complete for said factions. These are some of the more obvious things that go into making our experience more immersive, but there are some smaller details which add to the experience. For example, in the gameplay we were shown, you might notice that in-game voice chat is affected by the environment around the speaker. Buildings will create a slight echo effect, and distance will make a quieter voice. It's also worth noting that a radio device is already planned for the game, which will sound just like you'd expect coming over a walkie-talkie.
Holy shit. There's stuff everywhere.
Yeah, this place is packed, dude.
I'm packed.
There's some radical drakes here.
On top of this, we were graced with an excellent example of the dynamic weather systems and fantastic lighting that goes into Dead Matter. Most of the gameplay we saw featured a thick fog, which is just one weather condition we'll see of a diverse range, adding to our overall experience. Lighting inside buildings was a real highlight for me. The way light disperses over various surfaces was just top notch. I'm showing a few examples of this at the moment. The most standout example of the lot was the way shadows are cast on windows that are covered with newspaper when an interior light source is present. It was just excellent stuff. Small touches like this make all the difference when it comes to feeling like we're actually living in this world. Weapon animations are slick and well polished by all accounts, with some very nice weapon shake when firing to really simulate the kick of the firearm after each shot. Personally, I think the sounds behind each weapon could use a little work. Others sounded much better than others, but I'm far from an expert on what these actually sound like in person, and I'll definitely be reserving full judgment until I hear them in game for myself. We also saw zombie animations, which for the most part are marketplace animations and will be placeholders for animations the team will be implementing in the future. These don't represent the finished product, so try not to panic if you weren't a huge fan of these when watching them in the vlog. I wanted to make some final comments on the small bugs we saw during the gameplay footage itself. The most notable ones were that of items falling through the floor and bodies shooting across the floor when killed. To some, I realise these may appear as pretty large bugs, worrying when you consider that you might lose your loot over them even. Nick has made a personal guarantee that these bugs will be fixed before we get our hands on the game, so something to look forward to there. In the grand scheme of things, however, these are very minimal when it comes to titles in development, and when getting our hands on the closed alpha, we have to bear in mind that it'll be our role to find these bugs and report them for a fix to be implemented. I'd definitely like to hear your opinions on your favourite highlights from Vlog 10 and any improvements you think that are necessary to set the game apart from all else. Drop a comment on the video or come and check out my stream on twitch.tv/Mr. Atomic Duck. I stream every day from 2:30 PM UK time in the week and 8 PM on weekends. Take care guys, and I'll see you in the next one.